It's just pretty bad that we're looking at a software upgrade that's going to curtail constitutionally covered behavior.
It's Dan Eldridge. He is the owner of Maxson Shooter Supplies and Indoor Range, talking with me last week about a note they got from Illinois State Police concerning a website that firearms retailers have to use in order to verify Firearm Owner ID cards in the state of Illinois. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and wake up with us each and every weekday morning as we break down things for you to know as you get your day started. So go to the website, thecentersquare.com, where you'll see the headline and also where you can sign up for newsletters. Each and every day you get the top headlines in your inbox. But just go to thecentersquare.com. Retailer warns state police website maintenance could pause firearms sales. And you can actually see this for yourself if you go to the website for the Illinois State Police Firearms Services Bureau. You will see this note. It says, due to system maintenance, this portal will be inaccessible from 2 p.m. on Tuesday, May 20th, that's tomorrow, through 4 p.m. on Wednesday, May 21st. That is, again, Wednesday. So the Illinois State Police, they did send me a statement, and if you follow me on X, you will see the statement posted there on my X page. Just go to Bishop on Air, and you'll be able to see it. Let me pull it up here so that you can see it for yourself. They sent me a statement after I, of course, published the story, but they said that the system that Illinois State Police uses for FOID is 11 years old and in need of an upgrade. While enhancements have been made over the years, the system will be down temporarily for an overall upgrade that will help us ensure law enforcement, firearms retailers, and residents are able to access FOID information expeditiously. On May 7th, 2025, we began alerting users that access will be unavailable from 2 p.m. May 20th, 2025 through 4 p.m. on May 21st, 2025, so they could plan to purchase ammunition ahead of time. Firearm sales will still be processed within the statutory time, 72 hours. We appreciate the public's patience while we make this necessary improvement to ensure our system is operating efficiently to provide the best customer service. So that's Illinois State Police essentially saying, hey, this is happening, but firearms retailers finding out about this by just going to the website to run FOID cards, which again, Illinois is one of 4 states that requires some kind of state-issued identification in order for people to buy firearms and possess firearms in Illinois. You have to have a FOID card. If you want to buy ammo, you have to have a FOID card. Here's Dan Eldridge from Maxson Shooters Supplies and Indoor Range talking about how they found out about this and his concerns about what this means for Illinois gun owners.
So starting yesterday, we got a system message when we validate FOID cards that the FOID validation system will be down. And it'll be down depending on whether you believe the pop-up or the message itself. It'll be down between 2 p.m. Tuesday, May 20th to 7 a.m. Wednesday, May 21st, although the actual webpage says 4 p.m. Wednesday, May 21st. Now, this is a big issue because FOID cards now have no expiration date, and I would say that we maybe half or more of the FOID cards that we see are the new no expiration date FOID cards. And to validate that FOID card for ammo purchases, we have to hit up the FOID validation system. That's what's going to be unavailable. So we will be unable to sell ammunition. We also can't verify eligibility on a firearm sale. Now, with the 72-hour wait, maybe we just run it when the system comes back up, if the system comes back up. There's also eFOID, which would be an electronic version of the FOID card. But it's unreasonable to expect people to know their ISP logins, et cetera, off the top of their head. Most people don't walk around with that information. We also don't know if the eFOID system will be available. Presumably, they're driven by the same underlying systems at the state police, so probably that won't be available. It's just pretty bad that we're looking at a software upgrade that's going to curtail constitutionally covered behavior.
And again, this is because Illinois has the Firearm Owner ID card, which gun owners have to get in order to not just purchase or possess, but own in their own home. Now, the FOID card does face lawsuits in state court. We'll talk about another lawsuit that Gun Save Life had in state court coming up. But, I asked Eldridge, this wouldn't happen if we didn't have a FOID card in Illinois, right?
That's right, and that's an excellent point. This just further undermines the case for continuing with the FOID card. This is very poorly conceived. We have notified the state police of our concerns at the highest levels, and so one would hope that they will prevail upon whoever their software engineers are to maybe do their upgrades overnight, or have a side-by-side system running while they update one and keep the other in production.
Yeah, it does seem kind of interesting that they would just take the site completely offline instead of having like some parallel, server staying alive so people can continue to process FOID cards. But then that parallel server doing the upgrades to where the overnight hours, whenever the upgrades are done, they can just switch the server back out. Anyways, so again, tomorrow through Wednesday, you are not going to be able to go to a firearms retailer to purchase ammunition. You may be able to start that process of purchasing a firearm, but, it's kind of the reality of here in the state of Illinois. I asked Eldridge, so what? So retailers aren't going to be able to sell for a day. They're not going to be able to have their customers purchase ammo because they can't validate their FOID card through the ISP website. So what?
Well, that's, I think that's perfectly okay, Greg. You know what? If 10's good, let's make it 24 or 72 or whatever. No, I mean, it's completely unacceptable, both as a business person for the state to say, sorry, you can't do business for 10 hours, 10 operating hours, but also as an Illinois resident and United States citizen who may want to buy a gun or buy ammo. It's completely unacceptable.
And I do want to go back to what Illinois State Police said in their statement to me after I got my story published on Friday. It said that they have began alerting users that access will be unavailable so they could plan to purchase ammunition ahead of time. Do you go to the website each and every day, to the Firearm Services Bureau website, to see if it's up and running as a consumer, as just somebody who has a FOID card? Do you check that before you go and purchase ammo at your local firearms retailer? Who is it that they say they began alerting users just to the website? Obviously, firearms retailers use the website quite a bit because here in the state of Illinois, they have to validate FOID cards for similar purchases like ammo and, through the process of the 72-hour waiting period for firearms in the state of Illinois. So it's just interesting. Did you know about this before you heard about it, either by reading my story Friday or just now you're learning about it? So who are the users that were alerted? Either way, is there a potential for a lawsuit here? Here's Eldridge again in that question I asked him on Friday.
I don't know. I'm hoping that this leads to a rational fix. I mean, this is not software upgrades are not like splitting an atom. This should be able to be accomplished overnight. And frankly, if it's a software upgrade that's going to take 28 hours to accomplish, or 26 hours to accomplish, I'm nervous about the system coming back to life after they're done with it.
I mean, think about that. You got a firearms retailer there that's nervous that the websites they have to use to validate FOID cards for legal purchases of ammunition, not even firearms, but ammunition. He's worried the website may not come back up after 10 hours of it scheduled to be down for business hours. So tomorrow, that's going to happen. A lot of people watching what happens in the courts when it comes to the Firearm Owner ID card. One case that we have followed, maybe not as closely because it's in state courts, and that is the case that Gun Save Life had against the FOID card? Well, it was in an appeals court. An appeals panel sided with the state, and Gun Save Life is not going to appeal that. And if you look at Shooting News Weekly, an article that John Bach from Gun Save Life contributed there says Gun Save Life won't appeal our loss in the FOID card challenge case. Here's why. So he goes through the background, 2-1 decision in the 4th District of State Appellate Court, not federal court. This isn't federal court. This is state court. In our challenge to the FOID card, yes, the FOID card mandate's clearly unconstitutional, Bach says, and yes, there's no historical analog for the FOID card in colonial times. However, 2 judges ruled against us, ignoring all of that, as well as the Bruin precedents, to reach their respective creative opinions, citing against us. So it goes on to give more background about this case. Then it also talks about why they're not going to appeal this. So Bach says, for strategic reasons, Gun Save Life will not appeal the faulty decision from the 4th, again, state court, not federal court. Yes, this is a contradiction to what the NRA Illinois release stated in its last line. Here's why. We don't expect the Illinois Supreme Court to rule our way. Not when the U.S. Supreme Court flat out refuses to hold lower courts accountable for regularly ignoring the Second Amendment and the Bruin precedent. If we lost in the Illinois Supreme Court and then petitioned for a writ of certiorari from the U.S. Supreme Court, we're not at all confident that the Supreme Court of the United States would accept the case. In fact, given the recent posture of John Roberts and crew towards strong gun rights cases, our legal team believes an appeal in our case would be rejected outright. So yes, aggressively advocating, including litigation, has its place. Moreover, we owe a great debt of gratitude to the National Rifle Association's Institute for Legislative Action and for their behind-the-scenes help in filing. We have the support of NRA-ILA in making this final decision not to pursue appeal. They believe this is the right course of action. Sometimes we need to think a few steps ahead. After all, we're not playing checkers here. So that is, again, from John Bach writing through Gun Save Life for Shooting News Weekly. But we still have the other FOID card challenge out of White County. That continues on. The Illinois Supreme Court could have a third bite at that apple to deal with that particular case. Pretty fascinating. And I did check some of the federal court dockets on the gun ban challenge. No updates there. Still waiting on the plaintiffs to file their reply to the state, which had to file its reply to the district judge saying it was unconstitutional to ban firearms that are in common use. So that case is still going on. May 28th this month, we've got the Schoenthal case. That's the prohibition on mass transit of concealed carry. The district judge there said that's unconstitutional. It's in the appeals court, so oral arguments are there. May 28th. And you've also got, do we have U.S. Supreme Court order list coming out today? Let me just look that up. If so, you're going to have that pop in here in about 12 minutes. So let's pull up the calendar here to see if indeed the U.S. Supreme Court is going to be releasing orders. Order lists will be released at 9:30 their time. So we'll get this pulled up and see if that happens coming up here in about 12 minutes as we go live with Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Each and every weekday morning, you can join the program, join the live chats. If you can't do that, totally understand. You can catch segments of this show after the fact, and you can watch the entirety after the fact, but you can also get the podcast where you get podcasts. Just search Illinois in Focus and you'll find it. And you can get more information about what we do at the Center Square. Go to thecentersquare.com and stay plugged in with what's going on in your states. Again, I'm Greg Bishop. Follow me anywhere. Just search Bishop on Air.